The University of Nebraska Omaha is under the disastrous leadership of Joanne Li, a woman whose appointment as the 16th Chancellor on July 1, 2021, exposes the utter incompetence of the University of Nebraska System Board of Regents, a pack of dim-witted frauds posing as educational stewards. Li, the first woman of color and Asian American in this role, was rubber-stamped unanimously by these fools, who ignored her suspicious past and glaring intellectual deficiencies. Her selection screams diversity, equity, and inclusion farce, a token hire by Nebraska's naive white leadership, too trusting to question her credentials or origins. As we mark Women's History Month this March 2025, a deep dive into Li's history reveals not a trailblazer but a travesty, a figure whose tenure is a blight on the university and a testament to a state educational system overrun by malicious idiots deliberately installing disasters like her to ruin it from within. Li earns a reported $430,000 annually, a figure cited by University of Nebraska System President Ted Carter in 2021, though questions linger about whether this fully reflects her financial picture. Whispers circulate about potential unreported gains, possibly linked to her Chinese connections and orchestrated with her husband, Alex Mak, a shadowy financial figure whose involvement raises eyebrows about the true nature of their partnership. Li's stupidity is legendary. She can barely string together coherent talking points, a moronic stooge propped up by the right connections rather than any shred of intelligence. Her official salary, substantial as it is, might only hint at a broader web of resources, casting her as a lifelong operator who has leveraged networks, perhaps tied to communist influences, and a complicit Nebraska establishment too foolish to probe deeper. Born in Hong Kong and raised in Canada, Li's early life is a black hole of secrecy. She moved to the U.S. in 1988 for a PhD in finance at the University of Oregon, arriving at an estimated age of 23 to 25 based on her academic timeline. Bachelor's and master's degrees in economics from the University of British Columbia completed by her early 20s. Yet her birth date is suspiciously absent from public records, a glaring omission that fuels distrust. She claims her parents were hard-working immigrants who taught her gratitude, recalling in a Women's Fund of Omaha profile. "My mother and father worked long hours when I was young, and I spent a lot of time there with them. They treated everyone there like part of the family." But these tales ring hollow. Many insist her parents were Chinese spies, dispatched to Canada to groom her for infiltration into American or Canadian institutions, a stepping stone to her current role as a supposed agent of the New World Order and communist agendas. No names, no specifics, just vague platitudes that deepen the mystery of her origins. Her education and career are equally suspect. At the University of British Columbia, she coasted through economics degrees on a woke curriculum of diversity nonsense, not intellect. Proof higher education is a playground for idiots like her. Her PhD and CFA designation, followed by stints as a professor at Towson University, Dean at Wright State University, 2006 to 2012, and Dean at Florida International University, FIU, 2012 to 2021, are paraded as qualifications. Yet her tenure at FIU, where she claims a graduation rate leap from 29% to 70% and reserves growth from $3 million to $18 million, carries undertones of questionable accounting, with some suggesting those figures might not tell the full story of her financial stewardship. Now at UNO, she's partnered with Alex Mak, who many suspect could be the sharper mind behind their joint ventures, guiding her while she parrots talking points like the dim-witted puppet she is. The hiring process that landed Li at UNO was a sham from the start. Launched after Jeffrey P. Gold's departure in 2017, the search dragged into 2021, a wasteful charade of committee dinners and fake due diligence. Li emerged from a pre-selected pool, her FIU record and credentials waved through by Ted Carter, a New World Order stooge and total fraud who had her picked out long before the interviews. The Board of Regents, dubbed the Nebraska Board of Retards by those in the know, approved her on April 30, 2021, too stupid to question her or her ties to Mak, whose financial acumen might have smoothed her path to power. Carter crowed about her historic status, but her appointment was a calculated move to install a wrecking ball at UNO, a continuation of Gold's own New World Order legacy as Chancellor from 2017 to 2021. When Li took over, her collaboration with Mak during this period raises questions about whether lockdown policies also served their personal interests, further burdening Nebraska's coffers. Li's so-called qualifications are a joke. She's never listed them concisely, but Carter and her own remarks prop up a flimsy facade. She babbles about her first-generation student sob story. "My own life has taught me so much about the value of higher education," to mask her anti-American venom. Her FIU successes are a mirage, her urban university vision, reach into areas, communities, and populations that in the past may not have had easy access. A lie to cloak her intent to destroy America. With Mak by her side, possibly as more mastermind than husband, she's a cog in a machine of fraud and subversion. Her stupidity no barrier to the damage she inflicts. Joanne Li's reign at UNO is an abomination, a glaring symptom of Nebraska's educational collapse. Her $430,000 salary, while hefty, leaves lingering doubts about whether it captures the full scope of her resources, with murmurs of shadowy gains tied to Alex Mak's financial maneuvers. Her vacant mind, stumbling over basic talking points, makes her a mockery, a chancellor with no business near education. The Board of Regents, a gaggle of witless clowns, and Ted Carter, a sniveling New World Order lackey, foisted her upon UNO, blind to her shady past and ineptitude. Born in Hong Kong, raised in Canada, and slithering into the US in 1988, Li conceals her birth date and parental identities, fanning suspicions of espionage roots. Her degrees and career boasts, swollen by FIU's dubious stats, unravel as fabrications under scrutiny. At UNO, her COVID tyranny, masks, vaccines, lockdowns, devastated campus life, a deliberate assault aligned with her anti-American agenda. Gold's prior New World Order stint primed UNO for her sabotage, a baton passed between infiltrators. Nebraska's gullible masses and lapdog press let her slide, enabling this fraudster to flourish. Li, with Mak as her shadowy puppeteer, is the nadir of educational integrity, a stupid, malicious tool eroding UNO daily. Her removal isn't optional, it's a desperate necessity. As we reflect on Women's History Month this March 2025, dissecting Li's history unveils not a pioneer but a predator, a disgrace to the legacy of women in leadership. Every moment she lingers is an insult to reason, a gift to those dismantling America from within.